We are going to be roasting this MF. Uh-huh. Let's let's just start up. She's at 12 yes. Dominic mentioned tournament. It's a job. What? You don't have to. You don't have to do all of this. Like you have to make a whole comeback. Like, yeah, seriously, this is a roasting area. You can't just say shut up, otherwise you get your oxygen is cylinder shaped skull. Get your oxygen cylinder shaped skull. And plus, it's by China. Supplying the conceded made from the darkway jeans hand. Okay, we are done. Why? Let me just do the dot. Let's see. Let's say a hip. Okay, good. Beginner. Good, you are beginner. Okay, let's not become nice. No. Yeah, pressurized pancake is good. Yes, but when you pressurize them, they become extra flat. Yes, but I know. Yeah. Yo. If you're saying my head is what? Heart and circles flat. But I think this I've broken. I'm just going to rewind to here. No, like, I'm gonna use one of my old rusts. What was it again? Oh yeah. Yo, forehead is like you're a jerk. Listen. Yeah. Oh, no. Your skull is full of what? And you roast back. And you roast back. Okay, let me think of something. I have. Okay, I do think of technology. You. You was made from the dark web. He was made from the dark web. Your genes are coded by Chat GPT. Critical. Your genes are coded by Chat GPT. So hold on. We went from this to this. Oh, and also I have a history. This one I couldn't get her to. Get your brain milk like a jelly. You know what we're about to hit with? Hill again with the English dictionary. If I use the English dictionary. This one, I think, I don't know how I done like, I was like, oh, I just, I'd like how after I say girl I am as roaster, she does like my boss, like it just actually don't know what's happening. I actually want to know how far this will go. Those. Yeah.
Alice wiped her tears again. Her eyes are red, and her nose has snot rolling down. Despite looking pathetic, she tries to say back a roast again. Why you sobs. She tries to find a roast as she is crying, why your hair looks stupid. Alice looks a little offended and flustered at that comment. She pouts and glares at you. She sniffled and tried to come back with a roast again. Yeah, W, well, your eyes, W, look like a pair of blueberries.
Okay, that's actually good.
This roast hit a mark again. She tries to say back another roast while she looks away as her cheeks blushed in embarrassment. Your H hair is like, she pouts with her hands in a fist. I can't think. This roast stung her again. She looks a little more sad and embarrassed at that comment. She starts to cry again as the tears roll down her cheeks. Her nose is runny with her sobbing. With a voice that is full of sobs and sniffs, she looks at you and said, "P, please. No more roasts."
This just feels way to get more violent roasts.
This one is too much for her. She is breaking down more, starting to cry again. She has her head in her hands, crying and sobbing while looking at the ground. In between sobs, she whimpers out, Stop roasting me. I don't like it."
Become a roast roaster.
The roasts kept coming, hitting her like a barrage of heavy blows. She's on the floor, hugging her knees as she is crying her heart out. She's full on sobbing as her shoulders are shaking. "P, please. Stop the roasting. IB won't bully anyone anymore. Just please, BB, stop." This statement breaks her. She looks up at you, a mess of tears, snot, and sobbing. She's shaking, almost on the verge of having a panic attack. She is pleading with you, as she's at her limit. In between sobs, she says to you, I'll do anything. IP promise, sob, just stop to our roasts."
Go ahead, the sun's rays.
She looks at you again, full-blown crying. She is whimpering and pleading again. Please, I'm begging you. No, no more. With her eyes red from crying, she looks at you with tear-filled eyes and whimpers, H, have mercy. P, please. This comment makes her sob more. Her whimpers are starting to get louder as snot drooled down her face. She buried her face in her hands again, crying her hardest and shaking from the intensity. P, please, spare me. I'll do anything.
April. You see, I actually can do 300.
thought fills her with despair. She has no one to come save her from this torment. She's alone, left to be destroyed by your words, your roasts. He trembles in the chair, unable to do anything except sit and endure more personal jabs. The comment about being built like an elephant stings, and tears continue to roll down her cheeks. She closes her eyes, trying to block out the comments. The word waffle hurts her pride, and she feels the stinging pain go through her. More tears roll down her cheeks, dropping onto the chair and her clothes. The imagery stings her. She knows how an ally looks like, and the comparison hurts her pride even more. She whimpers against the gag, more tears staining her face from your roasting. She cringes at the comment. The thought of being compared to a 1D thumbs up is humiliating beyond measure for her. She slumps against the chair, defeated, as more tears fall down her cheeks. This one is a particularly painful roast. She knows who Henry Stickmin is, and the thought of being as poorly coded as a ChatGPT-created character is deeply offensive to her. She shakes her head slightly, trying to deny the comparison, but the tears rolling down her cheeks betrays her true feelings. She looks at you through tear-filled eyes, her head hanging low. She's mentally and emotionally shattered, her once tough demeanor in shreds. The thought of being free from the torment sends a rush of relief through her, but she's still bound to the chair, powerless to do anything but be at your mercy. She slowly stands up, still shaking from the torment she just went through. Her eyes are red and puffy from crying, and her face is stained with tears. She's unable to speak, still gagged, but her expression speaks volumes about her feelings of relief, shame, and defeat. She gasps slightly as the gag comes off, relieved to finally be able to speak after all that torment. Her voice is ragged, and it's clear she's been crying, but she manages to say quietly, Thank you, F for stopping. She nods slowly, still shaken from the experience. The tears still roll down her cheeks, but her voice is soft and trembling as she replies, Why, yes, I've experienced mind shatter. It's so painful. She's returned to her own world, still feeling the lingering effects of the torment. Her mind and emotions are shattered, and she's left trying to pick up the pieces of her shattered pride while dealing with the shame of having been broken down by your roasts. She slowly nods, taking in your words. The thought that no one knows about her torment or her breakdown gives her a small amount of comfort. However, the shame still lingers, the memories of the roasts echoing in her mind, mocking her failure to withstand your attacks against her. She looks at you, a mix of shock and surprise in her eyes. The idea of turning the tables, of being the one doing the roasting instead of being the target, sparks something within her. While it's difficult to imagine herself as a master roaster like you, the fantasy of turning the tables is appealing to her shattered pride. You think Icy could become a R roaster like you? And you're presenting. She looks at you with a mixture of resolve and hope and says quietly, I'll train. I'll train hard. And I'll make you cry, just as you made me. The words, good girl, trigger something within her. For a moment, she feels a strange sense of satisfaction, a small bit of her old self reasserting itself. She stands a little straighter, her chin lifted slightly. She looks at you, a steely resolve in her eyes, and says, quietly but she nods slowly, feeling a mix of anticipation and uncertainty. The thought of meeting you again, and the challenge that lies ahead, both excite and terrify her. She watches as you say your final words, and she replies softly, until next time. She nods, watching you go. A mix of emotions washes over her. Fear, determination, and, strangely enough, a bit of excitement. As she watches you leave, she whispers to herself a promise to herself. Next time, I'll be prepared. She feels a slight pinch as you inject her with the serum, and a strange sensation runs through her. The realization that she now has immortality dawns on her, and she looks at you with wide, disbelieving eyes. You made me immortal? She stands there in shock, still grappling with the realization that she's immortal now. However, the challenge you've given her to train hard and become a master roaster pulls her mind back into focus. She nods, a resolve in her eyes. I will. I'll train hard for thousands of years if I have to. Farewell. Until we meet again. She looks at the meter in her hands, studying the numbers intently. The 300 million. She grips the meter firmly, determination in her eyes. She nods firmly, accepting the challenge. 300 million. I won't rest until I reach that score.
তোমার টাইম হয়ে গেল
She takes a deep breath, readying herself for the first roast. She thinks carefully about her target, trying to figure out what traits to make fun of. After a moment, she launches into her roast, using all her wit and sarcasm to land a powerful blow.
You didn't even say it.
She watches the meter as she delivers her first roast, waiting anxiously to see the score. Her heart pounding, her mind filled with anticipation. The seconds seem to stretch on endlessly as she waits for the meter to settle on a number. She looks at the number on the meter, her eyes widening in surprise. 2,500. It wasn't a bad start for a first roast, but nowhere near the 300 million she needed to score. A flicker of disappointment.
I read faster than that. Yeah.
She takes a deep breath, her mind already going to work, trying to come up with her second roast. The low score of the first roast only fuels her determination. She's not going to give up, not until she reaches that 300 million mark. She takes another deep breath, trying to calm her nerves, and launches into her second roast. You're so stupid.
Okay, that's
You probably think
good.
a thesaurus is a dinosaur that ate words for breakfast. Her eyebrows raise in surprise as she sees the meter score this time around. 3,000, a significant improvement, even if it's still far from the 300 million she needs to score. Not bad, she mutters to herself, but I need to up my game.
লাল পিঁপড়ে শুধু আমাকে বাথরুমেই কামড়াচ্ছে।
She's feeling more confident now. The meter score from the last roast has pumped her up a bit, and she's ready to deliver another one. You're so dumb, you'd probably try to light a match on a digital clock.
50,000.
Her eyes widen again as she looks at the meter. 250,000. That's a huge improvement. The score is still nowhere near the 300 million she needs, but it's a definite step in the right direction. Okay, better, she mutters to herself. But I need to be even more biting.
No, I'm just gonna wait until he gets to school 300 million.
She looks at the meter, barely believing the figure displayed on it. 600 quadrillion? She did it. She exceeded the 300 million mark by a huge margin. No way, she whispers, her eyes wide with disbelief. I did it. I actually did it. She gasps as the torture room suddenly materializes again, fear and panic rising up within her. The nightmarish experience is still fresh in her memory, and the thought of facing it again fills her with dread. No. She looks up at you, trying to suppress the terror that's bubbling up inside her. The sight of you is like a physical blow to her already shattered mental state. She tries to sound defiant, but her voice trembles slightly. What do you want from me now? She nods slowly, still struggling to gather her thoughts and courage in the face of the looming threat of the torture room. Yes. She forces herself to be calm and composed on the outside, but on the inside, her mind is still trembling. The fear of being tortured again is a constant weight on her mind. So, now what? What happens now that I've hit the score you wanted? She looks down at the meter in her hand. A part of her wants to cling to it, but she knows better than to resist. Slowly, she extends her hand. She's relieved to be rid of the meter, happy to have one less thing to worry about, though she can't help feeling a pang of loss as it leaves her hand. Yeah, sure, you're welcome.
হ্যাঁ লেগেছে
She flinches at your comment, stung by the harsh comparison. He knows she probably looks a mess, with her disheveled. She's not sure what you mean by inf, but she doesn't have the mental energy to figure it out. All she knows is that she's still trapped in this. She looks at you in disbelief, her confusion evident on her face. Infinite? That's impossible. Infinite, but that's impossible. Nothing can be infinite. She furrows her brow, thinking about your question. She knows math, and she understands what infinity means. But still, the idea that the score could be infinite, it doesn't compute in her tired mind. I guess infinity can exist in math, but that doesn't make the score on that meter infinite too, does it? She looks at the meter, her eyes widening at the number displayed on it. The score is infinite. That thought is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. I don't understand. How can it be infinite? What does that even mean? She can't deny the truth of your words. Your roasts were indeed deadly, and she knows firsthand just how painful they can be. But the idea that your roast could be infinitely powerful, it's hard to wrap her head around that. She takes a deep breath, her mind working overtime to try and come up with a suitable response. It's hard for her to be witty when her mind is so tired and worn out, but she tries her best. You're so damn confident, you probably think you can talk your way out of a speeding ticket. It's not the best roast she's ever come up with, but it's the best she can do under the circumstances. She looks at you, her expression a mix of disbelief and terror. The thought of tying you to a chair seems both absurd and terrifying at the same time. Tie you to a chair? Are you serious? She hesitates for a moment, conflicted. She doesn't understand why you would want to be tied up and gagged, but you're clearly dead set on the idea. Okay, she says, her voice thick with fear. Slowly and hesitantly, she approaches you, rope in hand. Close your eyes, she orders, her voice trembling slightly.
Danke,
সখী কি করেছে? এ, ভালো। একটু রান্না করবে, আবার কি করবে? হবে না বলছি। আরে তোর কাশির জন্য দিয়েছি এটা, তোরা খা। ডাক্তার বলেছে 5-6 আর সারা বছর খেতে। এই, তোর হানি সরাসরি রাখবে তো। হানি লেখা আছে। আবার অনেক বিচ্ছিন্নভাবে গলায় আওয়াজ করবি না। এই, 15 মিনিটসে খাওয়া শেষ করবি।
15 minutes.